Hi, and welcome to another episode of And I Made It, where I chat with animators and creatives to discuss the ins and outs of their creative process. From sketch phase to final renders, I'm your host, MF Scribbles, and in today's episode, I got to sit down with Chris Alden, also known as Cosmic Osmo. Throughout this episode, we discover how Chris seamlessly blends his passion of music and animation, creating unique and engaging content. We also get chatting about where he came up with the idea of his animating these penguin characters and some of his comedic sketches and some of his inspiration when it comes to the art style and colors that he chooses. Chris also shares some insights into his artistic journey and the surprising parallels between producing music and animation and why there's such an overlap within these two industries. So, with all that being said, without further ado, please welcome my guest as we discover how they make it in this episode of And I Made It. What's up, Chris? How you doing?
Howdy. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Of course. Been really liking the penguin animations
Thank you.
that you've
Thank
been
you.
doing, and yeah, I think I came across your work because I think we were both in that Shorts Fest, right?
Yeah, Hot 30, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, dude, that's we were all talking about yours. I went out with a group of friends of mine and we were like, after every event, everyone's like, "Okay, what's your favorite?" All that shit. Unanimously yours, by the way.
Oh man,
They picked
that's
they picked yours over mine. So, there's a little bit there's a little bit of animosity here, but I'm doing my best to work through
wow, that's really crazy to hear.
it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely can't take like all the credit because obviously Keegan Tyndall's the main like writer and did the voices and stuff. So I just like animated it, but
Ah, you guys are a great team,
we've
man.
been
That
doing.
that delivery, the animation, all the punchiness, that shit. I've gone back and watched that one a half dozen times.
Yeah, it's a good one. I still get a lot of like likes from when I had posted. I first posted it like over a year ago, and it's still just like getting comments and likes on TikTok. It's
That's
it's
awesome,
nuts.
man. That rocks.
But yeah, that's really cool to hear. That was the first festival I've ever like submitted anything into.
Yeah, dude. Same, same.
They had like, yeah, I don't know if they reached out to you. They had like messaged me and was like, "Do you have anything you want to like submit? We have this thing." And I was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
cool."
yeah. No, same. Which I was like, I don't know how the fuck they found me. Because I'm
Yeah,
not like I don't really have a big animation footprint. I just kind of started this like semi recently, but yeah, that same thing. I was like, what are you like? I don't even think I hashtag my shit. Like, I don't know how you guys found
huh?
this. Very cool. I appreciate it. They're probably just watching lots of cartoons like crazy all day.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely like pretty flattering to have someone ask if you
Yeah,
could be in their film festival.
dude,
So I was like,
absolutely. And
"All
like
right."
everyone was so good too. Like everything there was like fucking
Yeah, I
awesome.
watched the live thing after, like, because I'm in New York, so I, like, couldn't actually be there.
Oh,
Part of me was
word,
thinking,
word.
like yeah, part of me was like, "Oh, man," like, I'm like, should I just take, like, a short trip to LA? Like, that'd be cool," but then I was just
Dude,
like,
hop out, bro. I got a
"It's probably gonna
scary
be
little
short."
couch back here for you, man.
Nice. Right on, right on. Yeah, I mean, now, like, yeah, being able to know more people out there for sure. But yeah, I definitely, like, gained at least a couple followers from that festival because I noticed like right after they released it, like you started following me and I started getting a few other followers. So I was like checking them and I was like, huh, I'm pretty sure this person was probably in the festival. So I was like, gave them follow back. Are you submitting to the new one they're about to do?
Dog, I mean, we were just talking about this before we started recording, but like I always try to have a backlog of stuff because animation takes time. But the last couple weeks I've just been like trying to focus more on my personal life and like, going outside,
Yeah.
especially in the summer here, which means I've totally sacrificed all my computer time. I really miss it. So I think the deadline's like Tuesday. So what, like in 2 days? I
Yeah.
gotta I gotta write something. I gotta record. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try because I want to do it. But yeah, like I kind of fucked myself on that one, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have anything for them this time around, but
We're just gonna have to power through, bro. Gonna have to call out sick tomorrow or something.
yeah. Sorry, I really gotta be in this shorts festival.
Something really important came up. Sorry, y'all.
Right on. So yeah, if you want to start off with like just describing to the people watching like who you are and like how would you describe your animation style? I know you're saying that you just started getting into it, but you obviously have like a cool style, I think, with the
Oh,
penguins
word.
and
I
stuff. So
appreciate that, man. Yeah, you know what's funny is I was going through your episodes and I should have anticipated this question, but I actually gave it like no thought. So how do I introduce myself? Well, my name is Chris. Um, crazy. I'm kind of a musician first. I've been making music under my like moniker Cosmic Osmo for almost 10 years, which feels horrible and dates me terribly. But I've always had like this little kind of like penguin character. I always like the idea of like a logo more than like a logo type, I guess. Like an image
right.
instead of words. Like really inspired by like kind of like the Sanrio stuff. Like Hello Kitty, it's like what, like three fucking dots and you instantly know it's a cat. That's like super cool to me. So I enlisted one of my old friends who's a graphic designer. And I was like, could you do like a penguin and kind of this like Hello Kitty style? And he came up with the general shape language of like the beak, two white eyes, and then like two pink dots. And somehow it like reads as a penguin, which is really crazy. And I was using that for my music for a long time, and then kind of started working more behind the scenes in music and producing for other people and making like sound packs and doing sound design for stuff, which is great. But it kind of left me at this weird crossroads of like I have this like character I really like, and one thing I can't really explore with my music is like my humor, which is a huge part of my life. Like I'm always, you know, we're always coming up with like bits. We're always doing kind of dumb bullshit with our friends, and forever I was like, it would be so cool to like make like a cartoon or make like a TV show or write a movie or something. And at some point in like my mid 20s, I just realized like, wait a second, you can just like do stuff. Like you can you can just like
Yeah.
do it. The only thing it takes is time. And I've already like spent so long teaching myself music. Like I didn't go to school for it or anything like that. Like it's all brute force and learning through people and meeting people. So I was like, what if I just do the same thing again, but for animation? And at this point in time, especially the last like, you know, 10 or 8 years, like YouTube University got really good. Like tons of like really professional people are on there talking through their processes and like
Yeah.
showcasing everything in really minute detail, which I need. I need someone to like hold my hand and drag me through and like show
Same.
me every step. I get confused like super easily.
Yeah.
Like if somebody just talks through their process, I'm like, cool. That
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
amazing.
Just
Would love to
just a
learn that
big
stuff.
reason why I started this podcast too, because like
No,
it's
that's
like
great. Like
show
incredible
people
resource.
how people do stuff. Yeah.
Dude, literally. And like that's a huge reason why again, I'm thankful you asked for me to be on this, but it's also just like super cool because I think even I'm a super amateur animator. I'm not a professional in any means. This is solely for my entertainment. But I've like seen a lot of people that are in the same boat and you can always learn something from somebody, right? Even if it doesn't feel like I have anything to teach. So
Yeah.
hopefully somebody learns something today. And if not, you can blame this guy for having me on.
Yeah. Blame me for not doing my correct research.
Yeah, there you go.
But I mean, it definitely seems like it's kind of surprising that you're saying that you're like such an amateur because like it looks like you latched onto like a style, right? Like you how did you go about like finding or deciding to do like the penguins and then I'm guessing you're using Blender for these?
Yeah, yeah, it's all Blender.
Because then also it's like you have this kind of like look that they almost look like they're like rubber duckies, like when their necks move, like it stretches and stuff. Like, how did you come up with that? Because I feel like most of the time, I guess what I'm trying to get to is like most of the time with like amateur artists, right? Whether it's like amateur animators, you see they're just like posting just like a bunch of different stuff. Like they're trying different things. But it looks
Right,
like
right,
you
right.
like I wouldn't have guessed you were like an amateur because it's like it looks like you're like, oh, I figured out a thing and I'm rolling with it pretty well,
I
you
mean,
know?
that's very kind. Thank you. I don't know where that comes from. I think, like, this penguin character I've had forever, the more I've kind of established it and tried to, like, write for it, I've realized I just kinda started, like, writing for myself and, like, my own anxieties. And, I've been really lucky through at one point, my music career with my, like, personal project was doing pretty alright. Like, I had somebody made me this, which is
Oh,
super cute.
rad. That's
Like,
awesome.
I didn't I don't know how to fucking knit, but somebody made this to me and gave it to me at a show, which was really sweet, and having it, like, in a 3D shape kinda got me thinking, like, I like that this is like a toy. Like, this
Yeah.
is but I dog, no fucking chance am I coming up with, like, a yarn shader or figuring all that out. That's way too detailed. But this was kinda like the inspiration point, and I'm a
Interesting. So that was
terrible
before you ever did it in 3D.
yeah, yeah, honestly, I'm a terrible person, I don't remember who made that for me. I'm gonna find out and then send you the info, and hopefully you can put their name on screen right here,
Okay, okay.
right
We'll
there.
try
But,
and give it a shout out.
it was, super sweet, and it really kinda got me thinking, like, if I was gonna make a cartoon with this, like, I think having, like, a realistic blue penguin is fucked up. Like, I don't want him to look scary. He's already scary. I've copped out, like, he doesn't have pupils. Like, that's a little bit unsettling, but that's because I don't wanna animate pupils.
Yeah.
Uh a little bit of a workaround, and it comes across as a stylistic choice, but inherently it's me being lazy. So the toy aesthetic, like, I mean, I grew up, watching like Aardman, and I was obsessed with Toy Story as a kid, like just completely obliterated that VHS. There's a sorry, I have ADHD and I'm not medicated today. There's a scene in Toy Story on my VHS where Buzz Lightyear's standing on the bed and his feet are clipping through the blanket. And when I was a kid, I was always like, what the fuck's going on there? Um, and then
I've never noticed that.
that was like this weird focus point for me, and I think the whole I don't even know why I just told you that story. That has nothing to do with really what's going on here, but I guess the focus on the toys and all that kind of stuff, I was like, if I'm gonna make this
Yeah.
cartoon, I like the idea of them being like little guys, like trying to do that. So I was like experimenting around, watching a lot of tutorials and like clay shaders, and like I do like a little bit of photography on the side. So like playing around with focal lengths, trying to make things seem small. The
Yeah.
more I started developing it, the less I think I focused on the toy thing, and it just started becoming kind of whatever. Like there's like some mixed media stuff that I'm working on, like just real ass people comped into these shots because it cracks me up. But like it was inherently trying to make like this should feel like you're playing with little toys and they're kind of having crass conversations or something. So I think I just lean towards that aesthetic out the gate, and I think it helps too to have like a north star to aim for that you can like practice and learn a lot about shaders and rendering and all of this stuff, and then once you get there you've kind of inherently created like a I guess like an aesthetic or a vibe or whatever you want to call it. It
Yeah.
was not super purposeful though. I like claymation. I like the idea of like little toys. It just kind of aimed for that, and once I felt like good enough I just stopped.
So, yeah, are you, like, writing and voicing them all yourself as well?
Yeah, it's really funny. So I have some really close friends that I work on this with. So my buddy Tanner and we went to school together in like 2012 or something. We lived in Florida at the time, which I don't recommend like living in Florida ever if you can
I
avoid
grew
it.
up in
But
Miami, so
oh well, yeah,
I understand.
yeah. Well, you're not there now, so I definitely
Yeah.
you feel it. But
Yeah, people ask me
yeah.
all the time when I'm moving back, and I'm like, "Never, never. Why would I
When are
do
you
that?"
moving back? I'm not. Yeah. What are you talking about? That's crazy.
I left
He
as soon
left
as I was
too.
18, so
Yeah, no,
yeah.
dude, literally, like, walk out, never go back. That's kinda my treatment with Florida too. I didn't grow up there, but I went there for college. Yeah, I met my buddy there, and we like, always just riff on stupid shit. We made this cartoon in, like, 2015, which was me learning or, like, me using Maya at the time, and, like, we made these terrible rigs. The tutorials for Maya, at least at the time, were bad because like it's so expensive. It's so impossible to get into. And we had like student
Yeah,
licenses, and we like ripped a bunch of N64 models and made this like kind of
nice.
like gay cartoon about Mario and Link kissing, which like you know, I guess that's what you do when you're 24 years old, and smoking weed. But
Yeah,
I, we made that, and it I was like, "Wow, that was really fun." It was like 2 weeks of my life where I was working every day fighting against this thing, trying to figure this shit out, and, drove me totally crazy, and I was like, "Yeah, maybe I'll become a cartoonist," and then I just didn't have that thought again for, like, 10 more years. But that's, like that kinda, like, planted a seed that took, like, a really long time to grow, I think.
yeah,
But Tanner and I, we've been riffing in the years since, just coming up with little ideas. My buddy Tyler, I lived with him in Seattle, same deal, like, we'd all just, like, riff on a ton of stuff and just like everyone does, right? Like,
yeah,
you have those in jokes with your friends, those, like, really insane bits that you all do.
yeah.
And
People doing like funny voices and stuff, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
we should just make such a funny cartoon one day.
Yeah,
Let's get.
exactly.
Anyways, let's go back to smoking weed and watching this movie.
Dude, exactly that. Like, it was just this thing like, "Oh, it'd be so cool to do this." And it's like that with all my friends, but I feel like with Tanner and Tyler specifically, there's just always, like, character bits or, like, a recurring joke, and, like, we, uh we all have this uncanny thing where we really like to, like, make people super uncomfortable in real life, where we'll, like, start doing a bit with each other and, like, the character gets a little intense and people are like, "I don't know if these guys are, like, friends or if they're actually angry." It's only entertaining to us, and when I say shit like that out loud, I sound like a sociopath, but it's all in good fun.
Yeah, yeah,
But it was kinda one of those things, like, it would be so cool to make something with this, and then again, that, like, realization probably late 20s or around when I turned 30 that I was like, "What if you just do that?" Like, 'cause what am I gonna do with a note in my phone that has all this insane shit, right? Like, it's
right.
like, I'm
So
gonna
you
stand
gotta
there and read
execute
that
it.
to somebody, they're gonna think I'm gonna kill them, like, it's so it's so scary. So, like, going
Yeah,
back and trying to animate it, and I mean, half those ideas are fucking bad too, but, like, I think, just having that kinda relationship with people, and then we brought in Vanille, who voices, Gwen, the pink penguin,
okay,
and she's incredible. She's super fucking funny. So, like, the 4 of us, just trading, like, riffs back and forth. I'll write, like, an idea, like, "Okay, what if, P jacks off and Gwen walks in and sees it?" Like, something insane, and then they'll just run with it, and, like, it feels like some crazy system. Like, I'll just toss in some terrible idea and they come back with, like, this magnum opus. I'm like, "All right, well, now my work's cut out for me because I gotta make this fucking thing happen." Uh,
yeah,
so it's like there's a little bit where it's just me on some of them, and then there's a lot of, like, I'll tap out on an idea really early if it's like I'm like, "There's something here, but somebody has to fix this," and luckily, the 3 of them are, like, amazing at just that, and they come up with so many hilarious ideas on their own too. I
yeah,
like it because I get to take credit for, like, everything. So,
right. Like, and now that's mine. No one
yeah,
else
this is
worked on
my
this.
cartoon, and even though it's all of them, it's mine now, so I'm the genius.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like it's only like fairly recently where stuff like Blender is like so easy to use now, and since it's free, it's like people almost have like no excuse if they want to make a cartoon
Dude,
to
for
like not
sure.
make it,
For
which
sure.
is like crazy because only like a few years ago it was still just like, oh, I need to pay for this like super expensive program or like I don't know. I mean, I feel like Adobe Animate was probably like the cheapest option back like only a few years ago.
Yeah, yeah, it's really and even with Blender, I feel like I'm barely scratching the surface. Like, I've figured out my workflow in it, so I'm constantly trying to, like, challenge it or learn new tools 'cause it's kind of the same thing with, like, music software. Like, you make a certain kind of music for so long, you come up with these rules, and, you totally just negate half of what you could possibly be doing with the software. I
Yeah.
tried Blender way back, I think, like, version 2 or something, and now it's what, like, version 4.3 something, but,
Yeah. Yeah,
way
I'm not
back, and I
sure
was like,
because it's
"This
been out
shit's"
for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
like
it's
but
been
it's
ar
now
I
it's
mean, I
getting
think I was
really
in
good.
middle school when I tried downloading it, and I was like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
monkey head on my screen, and, like, I don't know how to navigate. I click on it, nothing happens, like I accidentally deleted it and now it's gone. Like, I just never opened it up again.
You're like, "Where's the monkey head now? Where's the monkey head button?"
And it's I
Yeah,
think 3D is so overwhelming. Every piece of software is really overwhelming, but, like,
yeah.
navigating things in 3D space, I was drawn to that because I can't draw. I would love to learn how to draw, but I'm definitely not going to sink the time into that
Mhm.
because I've got all these other stupid things I'm sinking my time into. But, like, someday when I'm, like, 80 and, in a park feeding ducks or something, if I make it to 80 and if parks and ducks make it to when I'm 80, but, like, I would love to be learning how to draw then, like, that it's a skill I've always really wanted, and I think 3D was just easier for my brain 'cause,
Yeah,
it's, like, easier for me to just visualize and shape something that way, I think. Like,
yeah,
trying to make something look really lively and drawing it flat, like, there's a huge disconnect. Like, when I look at, like, your work or any of the work you've been showcasing, I'm like, "Yeah, don't fucking know how you do that. That's crazy." This is just
yeah,
magic.
I've just
Like,
been
it's
drawing for
it's
a
very
long
cool.
time, yeah. But yeah, no, with 3D, like, I had been wanting to, like, dive into Blender and 3D for the longest time, and then I got into it, like, a couple years ago just because the job I was currently at, they, like, wanted I was, like, working at a company that would make YouTube, animations,
Oh,
and they
that's
were
cool.
talking about doing, like, a 3D channel, um, and I was the supervisor, so I was the one with, like, the most time on my hands, as supervisors are. They were like, "Can you learn how to do the figure out the 3D thing?" So I'm like, "Okay." So I, like, was basically getting paid to just, like, learn Blender all day for, like, weeks. So
That's a
I got
good
lucky with
setup.
that I could just I could spend most of my time, all I had to do was like make sure I just like had the meetings and talk to people that needed help throughout the week. But besides that, the rest of my time was just dedicated to like learning Blender. So I finally like learned how to use Blender.
That's sick,
And
man.
once
That
I
rocks.
figured it out, I was like, oh man, like yeah, like if you're somebody who's not an artist but you want to get into animation, like learn 3D because it was once you figure it out, it's super easy. And also, none of my drawing animation skills translated over to 3D at all. It was like like so it's like you can make amazing 3D animation without any like art ability. So I wasn't like I always like try to tell my friends that I know that do are funny people that write and stuff, and I'm like, dude, learn Blender
Yeah.
because
No,
you
straight
can
up.
do like you can make your animations and like just like force yourself to finish a project for like a month, and then by the end of that, you'll have it down, and you can like because I feel like Blender's like, and I'm sure it's like this with any 3D program, not just Blender, but it's like the learning process is like a big hurdle, but then once you get over that hurdle, it's like once you figure out where all the tools are, then you can kind of just do it. It's free game. It's like
No,
on like
exactly, and I
YouTube.
think Blender specifically too has such a wealth of, like, insane resources. Like, I'll run into some really particular problem or, like, I'll have a joke. Like, I was trying to work on this cartoon where I thought it'd be really funny if somebody had a food truck that was just like a radio flyer filled with burning oil and it, like, vaporizes a guy. And I was like, "Okay, but how am I gonna vaporize a guy?" So on YouTube, I typed in "vaporize guy blender." And some fucking guy in like Denmark with some beautiful voice is just 48 subscribers, and he's like, Here's how you vaporize a man in Blender." I'm like, this holy shit. It's just here. And it's like,
Yeah,
it's great. He walks me through it. I'm like, oh my God, I can actually do this thing. And you learn all sorts of weird shit about how the software works and how to make any of these kind of things work. I've been trying to learn more about like the geometry nodes thing,
yeah,
but like that's a bit above my pay grade, I think.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I've been putting so many of my, like, stat points into learning synthesizers and trying to do, like, this GeoNode shit. I'm like, I don't know. I might just go on, like, Blender Marketplace and buy somebody's, like, GeoNode setup that does something cool. There's, like, guys making, like, 2 buttons and you generate, like, an entire city and you can change it. I'm like,
yeah.
that's not gonna be me. I don't need to be that guy, so I will definitely,
Right.
like, benefit from their insane knowledge. But Blender specifically because it's, open source, everybody can download it for free and use it, like yeah, like you said, there's just no excuse. It's really just a matter of sinking time, like everything. and you can learn it, and you can also get, like, pretty good results with it. Like, I don't think my cartoon's the prettiest thing in the world, but I think I got it to a point where I'm pretty satisfied with how it looks, and, there was a long period of time where it was like, yeah, it looked like shit because I didn't know what I was doing. So I didn't put it out because like, I didn't wanna embarrass myself.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know, man. The Blender, all that kinda stuff, like, obviously learn anything, like, I really wanted to learn Toon and then kind of doubled down on the fact that I don't know how to draw, so that was a bit of a non-starter, but, like, even with Blender, there's, like, all the 2D tools now, I haven't even touched that, and some of my friends use that and make all this shit that I didn't think was possible and might not have even been really possible in this, like, way, like, 5 years ago, so
Yeah.
it's a great time to learn, you know? I think all this shit is there's so many resources, you just have to want it, that's it.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, grease pencil I really wanna, like, dive deeper into as well. For some reason, there's, like, parts of it that I need to, like I feel like I just need to, like, ask somebody that I know that does grease pencil, be like, "Yo, can you just, like, show me how to do this stuff?" Because there's been, like, multiple times I've watched tutorials, and for some reason, grease pencil will not work for me the way other people it works for other people in
Oh my
tutorials, like,
god, dude.
I try to, like, draw it's, like, the whole thing of, like, drawing on, like, 3D surfaces, it doesn't work for me. It always, like, shoots past it or, like, just draws and, like, floats, and I follow them like exactly what they do to make it connect to it, and it never works. Like I could go on about this forever, but like I've tried it multiple times, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll just go back to using my 2D program
Dude,
because Grease
oh my
Pencil does
god.
not want to work with me.
Every time. Like, when I was trying to learn, like, the bump maps versus, like, depth map and versus, like, displacement map, I, I'm pretty sure I used depth map incorrectly there. Just bump and displacement map. I'm a real animated. But when I was learning those, I was watching these tutorials and I was like, "What the fuck? Like, mine doesn't do this."
Yeah,
And then I had to watch, like, again, some random guy just very all these like super well watched tutorials. Everyone's like, wow, this is the best fucking thing ever. Only an idiot couldn't do this. But I'm missing this one key element. And then I watch like this no view tutorial, and the guy's like, oh, yeah, this won't show up if you don't have this checkbox in your preferences. I'm like, cool. Thank you.
yeah,
Like, it's not the default option, but everyone in the fucking world knew it except for me.
yeah. Right. And it's like, oh, that was it. It was just that. I'm not an idiot. But then at the same time, you're like, why is that a box that you have to
Literally.
check
Like, this, why
if
is
you have
this
to
not the
use this?
default behavior here? And
Yeah.
that comes with every software, right? Like, constantly, if I, like, go over and, like, work on music with, like, another musician, we'll use the same exact software, the same update, the same tools, but they have, like, one preference, and the entire thing is I look like a chimp, like, I can't use this shit because they have, like, one weird thing that they've had enabled since they were, doing this 20 years ago, and they've just
Right. So they're
kinda
like,
grandfathered it in. But yeah, just that those little tiny things, in Blender's so full of them. Like, do whatever Blender courses you need to do. I know people recommend that, like, donut one or whatever. I haven't done that yet. I feel like I should go back and do it now. But,
yeah.
like,
I did that a long like, years ago. I did the donut thing, and I was like,
it's I
"Cool,
think it's pretty
I can do
good.
3D?"
Like,
Yeah,
I think a lot of people end up making a donut and then, like, walk away forever, though.
yeah. That was me for a few years until I was forced to go back to it, but
I mean, that's
yeah.
wicked that they had you learning it on the clock, though. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, like, that at that point, I was like, "Okay, I have no excuse. Let me just figure that." I used some, like, tutorial that was, like, how to build, like, a low poly character model, and it's, like,
Oh,
a
word, word.
three-hour-long tutorial, but it's, like, super good, and I just, like, every day at work, I would just slowly following it, pausing it, doing what like and then finally I like made this cool little character and I made it like I rigged it up and made it like jump out of off the screen, like out of the screen and made the camera shake and stuff.
That's
And then I
so
could like
sick.
show it to my boss and he was like, "That looks awesome." And I was like, "Hell yeah." And then it was like, yeah, and then I ended up doing one of those who's the guy who does like those like blender challenges?
Oh,
Have you seen those?
fuck.
He does like they give everybody like a template with a
God.
rig, and then you're supposed to, like, replace the rig.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I mean,
Yeah, I
dog, I
can't
don't
remember
even
his
know my
name.
own parents' birthdays. There's no chance I'm
Yeah, I don't
remembering this
remember.
guy's name.
But I did one of those. It was like the infinite staircase one, and I did that, and I spent like a whole month just like working on it.
That's
And
sick.
yeah, like I think that's the best thing to do. Like once you kind of get something, like understand where everything is, do one of those challenges or
Yeah.
just like to learn. Because the whole time I was like having fun, just like I was building like a city in the background, and then I was like, "Ooh, what if there's like fog in the city?" Because I was trying to make it like cyberpunky. So I was like looking at like fog blender. I was like, "Can you do that?" And sure enough, there's like 100 tutorials on how to make fog in Blender, and then it's like you just like keep coming up with new ideas, and then there's always like a tutorial. And by the time I was done with
Exactly.
that, I was like, sick. Now I know how to like do all. I know how to model a character, rig a character, put it in, animate it. Like, yeah,
No, it's so cool, and I feel like because, like, so much of there's, like, a mystique around it, like, people think this shit's impossible or, like, "Oh, that would take me too long." It's like, "Well, dude, that time's gonna pass anyways. You might as well just,
yeah,
like, take a couple afternoons and learn, like, a cool new skill." I mean, I genuinely mean it, like, if I can do it, literally anyone can do it. I'm not naturally, like, gifted in these kind of things. I feel like my brain works differently, but I just really wanted it, so I just sat through a lot of tutorials and, like, popped some Adderall, sat through, like, an 8-hour weird Blender course that learned a bunch of stuff that I may or may not use again, but it's in here. And then, you take it, you run with it, you figure out what you wanna do, and I think inherently, if you want to make something, you just gotta actually sit down and make something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
very
sure.
sage advice. It sounded very smart.
Yeah, with all that being said, you wanna should we start going through one of your projects, and you can show us a little bit of how you're making
Yeah,
your little
sure
animated
thing.
skits?
Sure thing. Let's see. So I think how a lot of these start is like again, there's like the bits with your friends and whatnot. I like to take really long walks like with my dog or by myself and just start. It's a little bit insane, but I just like talk to myself a lot. Like this morning I walked to the coffee shop and I was just I mean it's Los Angeles, so a guy talking to himself on the sidewalk is kind of just that's
Normal,
fine.
yeah.
Everyone is out here. But I was like coming up with this really dumb idea. Like, what if like Jerry Seinfeld and all these kind of washed up shitty comedians, they're like, they're getting their jokes from like the same source. And I was doing like Jerry Seinfeld impressions on the sidewalk, which I don't really know what he sounds like. So I was like, I'm Jerry Seinfeld. And it's like, the hallmark of a good impression is saying the name of the guy you're
The
doing the
guy's
impression
name, yeah,
every
that
time.
way
But
everyone knows who you're doing, yeah.
yeah, exactly. There's no question anymore. But I'm walking down the sidewalk doing that a lot and making myself laugh, and then I come home and I, dump it all into, like, a Google Doc. Now, a lot of these Google Doc ideas, by the time I get home, I've kind of, like, forgotten it. Can I share my screen? How does this work, dude? Okay, cool. And, well, actually, embarrassingly enough, here is a, uh here's where I put my really good ideas. I have a shared Google Doc with my friends, and, half of these they won't ever get made. Like what like Crash Bandicoot live action movie. That was the idea. And then I wrote need paper mache. I don't know what that means. Um, I'm sure at the time I thought that was like incredible, but that's
Oh, dude, I have so many notes like that in my notes apps that I'm like, "Why did I think that I would understand this later down the
right.
line?"
Like
Like
I'm not doing anyone favors. I'm not gonna remember that. Mm, this is where the magic's made though. It's this fucking graveyard document. Yeah, Morgan Wallen is a playable race in Age of Empires 2. Anyways, that's probably actually not helpful to any sort of process at all. Um, I guess all I could say about that is any just write down everything. You might go back. I try not
yeah,
to have like days where I don't work on something. Not that I'm like a Sigma grind set kind of guy. I just like to stay occupied, and I feel a little bit more like happy and positive if I'm kind of working on something every day. So if I can't come up with ideas, I'll go back through my idea doc and see if I can kind of like
yeah.
Frankenstein some stuff together.
It's a good habit to have.
I think there's worse habits for sure. So I'm working on this like full length cartoon right now. at like 13 or 12 minutes or something,
Oh, wow.
which I don't recommend
That is
doing.
very long.
Yeah. I'm like naturally kind of more inclined to like longer form content where you get to like know the characters and all that stuff. Like I feel like in all my little shorts, the joke is like a problem gets introduced and then it's over. Um, so I thought it would be cool. Like, okay, a problem gets introduced in the first minute, and now like 12 minutes of okay, how do these characters solve this problem? Um, which yeah, I started that in like November, and it's July. It's not done yet. My goal is to have it done by September. I think we can hit it. And then it's like, what do you do with a 13-minute cartoon? Most of the like animation festivals I've seen are like 10 minutes and under. I'm like, all right,
Mm.
well, fuck me, I guess.
I guess just
Um,
upload it to YouTube.
yeah,
There's so many animations that I see all the time online that like yeah, it's around that length and will just be like a YouTuber with like no subscribers will just post something and for some reason the algorithm will like find people like you'll look at their page and it's like all their stuff has like a couple hundred views and then the one like long animation they have has like 200,000 views and it's like how did that happen?
we're gonna pray for that.
So,
That's what
yeah,
I'm counting
post
on
it on
my
Reddit, let me
future
know.
getting picked up by like some nameless algorithm. A lot of my cartoons, because I'm an amateur animator, like the bit is kind of like, they're watching TV and something weird is on TV. I'm trying to break out of that. That's like naturally where a lot of my jokes come from is like, oh, what if you were watching the Flintstones and Fred like committed suicide? Like, um, like I don't really, that's weird, but that's where a lot of the bits come from. So like I spent a lot of time like modeling their room and all that kind of stuff, and I'm super inspired by like kind of old Nicktoons, like the way they looked, especially like Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah,
Joe Murray's like artistic style with how he did the house and everything, like really I've since gone back and watched that show just to kind of ingest like how he's designing the world. Like everything sits on a sphere. If they're in the living room, it's spherical. If they're on the street, it's
oh yeah,
spherical. The city is spherical. Like um so I'm trying to do a little bit of that with some of this. Like hopefully this isn't too choppy. But like when I designed out their house, I thought, okay, like I'm not gonna lean too far into the penguin thing and make everything like fucking ice blocks or igloos or whatever bullshit. But I did want to like nod to a lot of kind of those old Nicktoons and stuff like that. You can even see if you
yeah,
look at the couch,
oh
I
yeah,
was
like the
kind of trying to
patterns.
ape the like Dire Straits "Money for Nothing" music video where they have that like lightning wallpaper texture. But I don't know how to UV a fucking couch, so there's like all these repeating seams, everything here.
Yeah, you don't notice it though. I mean,
I mean, hopefully, right? I think if I ever do,
yeah,
I'll just make a joke like our couch is very poorly UV'd, because there's like a ton of it all over the place here. It's like falling apart, but I just really wanted to like have everything like again, like I grew up with The Simpsons too. I love their use of color. Like if you actually lived in the Simpsons house, I think you'd be fucking nauseous because like all their painting and everything is like insane. The colors are
yeah,
like this would be an egregious room to live in. Like yellow
with the yellow and
walls,
purple in
teal
the back.
couch,
Yeah,
pink like other like everything's just a nightmare. But I feel like so many of those old Nicktoons and everything, like it was just really colorful, and it
yeah,
it kind of helps you come up with some design language here. So I modeled this room very much from the perspective of like you're really only ever seeing them like kind of on the couch here. So if I zoom out, you can see how it's actually constructed, right? Like,
yeah.
and there is a separate scene that's like P's room and all of these other pieces there, but they're all different Blender files. I'll like import them in, um, and all that kind of stuff. Like a
It's
lot of
funny
it's
how you
fake perspective.
set it up with the like the board in the back with like the skyline.
Yeah,
You set it up like exactly like a like a TV show set or like a movie set.
and honestly, that was like pure accident. Like I these sky textures are ripped from Spyro the Dragon. Um,
Nice.
I just ROM dumped it because I really liked the like skyboxes in that game, and
Yeah.
I can't paint, so I was like, I'll just fucking take these. No one's gonna know. But now you know. But yeah, just kind of put them there so you know when you're looking through the windows and stuff,
Yeah.
it looks like wow, there's sky. There's a major continuity error where this door is always red from the outside, and then it's just like a glass door inside, and I
Oh,
will just never fix that. I think because it makes me laugh that there's just this egregious continuity error, but I don't think it matters either. I think it's just kind of funny. But yeah, a lot of this is just, you know, this is all just tutorials. This is just a shit ton of tutorials and like texturing and modeling and everything, and it all just culminates into
yeah.
this one thing. This rig is super simple. Again, my penguin characters are really simple because I wanted to make it easy for myself. Because if I did anything like human, it's like, oh, cool, they have fingers, they have pupils, they have teeth.
Yeah.
When they make phoneme shapes, they like, you know, their mouth squeezes in, squeezes out, like everything. With this stuff, there's no pupils. Their eyes don't even move. It's just eyelids, which is easy. And then their beak just clacks. That's it. It's just up and down.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of how up does it go and how down does it go.
Yeah.
And then occasionally I can like move their tongue and whatnot. Like if I really want to like, you know,
Do
he's
something with that.
performing some sort of cunnilingus. But this is all built to be as simple for me as possible because the other thing I've noticed is like, and I think this is why my like long cartoon has been taking a long time, is like a joke is funny like once. Um and like animating a joke and hearing it like 1,000 fucking times in a row, like nothing will make you feel like a less funny guy than hearing like your own voice say some stale ass line over and over and over. And by
Yeah.
the time I'm like done animating his section, even if it only took me like an hour, I'm like, this is shit. I'm shit. This is like, no one's gonna laugh at this. Somebody's
Yeah.
gonna like ash a cigarette on me in public 'cause this is so not funny. Like this, this is all just terrible.
That's the struggle, man.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think I it's the same with music, and I'm sure everybody who's ever tried to be a funny person making cartoons feels the same way. At a certain point, you have to get out of your own way and be like, "I found this funny once.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody else might find it funny when they experience it for the first time too."
Yeah, the best thing to do is, like, just send it to what you can to, like, a friend and be like, "Is this funny?" And then because it's like they'll have fresh eyes on it. But yeah,
Yeah.
it is a shame that it's like when you're animating it, you're forced to listen to it over and over and over and over again. So it's like there's not really any way around it.
Yeah.
But it does suck because there's even animations that I made, like the gnome one from a year ago. I haven't watched it in so long. Whenever I go back and rewatch it, like, I can see the humor in it, but, like, I don't like, it's not funny. Like, I ruined it, you know? Like, it's ruined now. I can't, like like, it kinda just, like, destroys it for you because you've, like, listened to it so many times.
And there's something really psycho about sitting there and watching something you made and just like just neutral expression the whole time. Like, yeah, that's good. Like, just
Yeah.
yeah, every time. I mean, even at that Hot 30 thing we were at, like I showed my cartoon and the whole time I was just kind of like people were laughing, but I was like, this is fucking nothing, dude. That's that's crazy. Like I spent so much time on this. Um, but I guess that's, you know, probably more of a mental hurdle to cross.
Yeah.
I want to see if this is going to work. I got this little plugin. Again, Blender is great. People make all these really cool plugins. When I made that cartoon in Maya, like, oh, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, that's horrible. Maya, their like timeline has or at the time, hopefully I'm not talking out of my ass. It had like a waveform. You could see the audio directly, which made it really easy to animate to. So I found this plugin here that is totally working and not making me look fucking crazy. And I just realized why. I have this bad habit where I'll put the audio files for a cartoon on my desktop, and then I hate having a messy desktop, so I'll delete it after I'm done animating. And now I go back to the cartoon. I'm like, there's no audio. Anyways, this plugin, it's like $5 on Blender Marketplace. It's just called Display Waveform.
Mhm.
This should frankly be built into Blender, I think. But it's great because you can very granularly see the waveform and you can animate it to it. Uh, I really like the stop motion kind of Aardman style. So all my cartoons I animate 12 frames a second. Um, and then I use another plugin by I think he's like he's a pretty big YouTube guy. I think it's like Southern Shoddy or something.
Mhm.
He does a lot of cool Blender stuff. But there's this great thing called stop mo where it'll just essentially, instead of like making it a linear interpolation, it just adds in extra keyframes to all of your animation and then turns it constant between
Yeah.
certain animations. And again, sorry, this is probably not actually that fucking helpful, but let me jump to something else where I used that actually. Um, this Max Band, this cartoon, garage. How's back on that? Okay, living room. So I wanted one of the characters to jump down the stairs. When I animated the character jumping down the stairs, it looked so bad. It was like just somebody grabbed like a PNG and wiped it down the screen. Um, so I kind of like started just adding in like a little like moved him up and down, started playing with the translate, and then I realized like okay, when they're talking and when they're doing like their little motions, it's 12 frames a second. But I feel like stylistically, it would be really interesting if, yeah, like this, he's gonna jump down these stairs here. Uh, Maybe, yeah, it's so clippy. But like you can see here, I'm going through like I'm on frame 20, 21. Okay, so 2 frames, 23, 24, 25, and then he's out of camera here, so I'm able to like switch him over really quick.
Yeah, just flip
Um,
them around.
But, like, when I look at it in camera, which is in, like, TikTok view, you just see him in the background do that, and then the camera
Yeah.
shakes when he lands, and then he
Uh,
kinda runs over, and again, every 2 frames now, so it's like he's like a 6-frame animation at this point. Um, he's just doing little hops, but when you watch it all, it looks smooth enough.
yeah.
Like it's fine. And that's really just like again, I'm sure if I'd like really focused and spent a ton of time on it, I could have made like a really cool walk cycle. But I don't like to spend too much time on something like that. I think and I might have learned this with music, but like if you're really spending this much time on something, you're losing the idea. You're getting lost in a lot of these details. And like I just needed him to jump down the stairs and then run off screen. It shouldn't be like I don't
Yeah.
need to spend an entire day making that work because also it'll drive me crazy and B, no one like is gonna appreciate that. No one really cares. And I think inherently by being lazy, I made a stylistic choice to do this kind of stop motion thing and make it look a little bit more purposeful. And it really is just it's like a cop out. I was really just trying to speed up my process and I think a lot of the stop motion and a lot of the like these decisions, it does end up adding to the like aesthetic I guess I'm going for. But a lot of that is just accidental choice or sheer like unwillingness to learn or do more.
Yeah. When you're animating on 12, I've never tried to do this, but is it just like an option that you can change Blender to 12 frames per second? Or are
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
animating on twos?
Right in the output properties, you can just change the frame rate. I think it defaults to 24, but you can just go to custom. And the reason I even just settled on 12 is Um, I started with like a run cycle for my penguin. So I was like, how the fuck do these guys run? So they're so bottom heavy and they have flat feet. So I made this run cycle, but because he was clay, it looked really weird when it was smooth.
Yeah.
So then I used this stop mo plugin, which it might be free, it might be $5 at something, but I stuck that on it, and all of a sudden I was like, whoa, hang on, that looks like something. That looks like a very purposeful choice. This looks like I know what I'm doing, um, which is great. So I just started applying that to kind of everything. And then I was like, well, why am I even animating at 24 frames a second if inherently I'm just doing twos? I'll just cut it to 12. And
Yeah.
thus this was born. And then if they have really egregious motions at 12, I cut that in half too. Um, because like if you watch like some of these really old stop motion cartoons. Like, I have this service called like Eternal Family. Have you heard of it?
No.
it sounds like a cult. It's not. It's just like it's a streaming service with like a bunch of obscure stuff. They have like a lot of like Soviet animation on there. So
Okay.
there's a lot of like older stop motion on there that I really like. Um, and whenever the movements get like really egregious, it's like, they're animating on fours all of a sudden or like on twos, and it's really
Yeah.
blocky, but it's cool. I think it just looks really, really neat. So kind of, borrowing from that a little bit with this. And like otherwise, again, there's not a ton of motion for a lot of these. The short is taking me a while longer because there's a lot more motion. Um, but a lot of these bits, it's the same way it got created with my friends. It's like a bunch of fat guys sitting on a couch drinking beer.
Right.
So like that's inherently what the cartoon is. Here, I'm cutting to a different Blender scene, and I'm too lazy to just like render. I like to set my render overnight. So I just cut to a camera that's not looking at anything, and I replace those frames later.
No, okay.
But yeah, I mean, half the aesthetics built into Blender right here, like my shaders and everything. And then the last piece of the puzzle, really, that I do here, like again, it's all super simple animation, beaks clacking. A lot of it's the emotion in the eyelids. They have bottom and
Mhm.
top lids, and like those are able to like furrow or kind of whatever. Like here, he's obviously pissed off, so his brows furrow. But a lot of it has to be in the eyelids because there's no pupils. You can't really.
Yeah, there's no
Everywhere they're looking is
eyebrows.
solely because the head's turning.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's crazy how much expression you're able to get out of them with just,
yeah, and
like,
I
the
think I think it
eyelids
comes
and
from
the
like
mouth.
when you're like a kid and you're playing with toys, like obviously you're imagining like all of these expressions when you're slamming your fucking balls together in the bathtub or whatever. But like I think a lot of this inherently is just even subtle shape language in the eyes. Will just I mean, this isn't super subtle. He's got the very obvious angry eyes right there, but like little bits like that, you don't have to make it super complicated. You don't have to have a really realistic human. There's no world
Yeah.
where I'm creating a really realistic human. Like I would have to dedicate such an inordinate amount of time to do that, and then I would go crazy because I'd have so much work to do.
Yeah.
Like this is definitely more my speed, like very simple. They don't have fingers, so when they're pointing at stuff, it's like, literally like a I shouldn't do this, that looks bad. And they like it's flat. So they just do this a lot. This too, like the way I've rigged these, like break out of this, like there's a lot of shots that like cheat. So like when I'm wait, hang on. I gotta click on his rig first. When I'm posing these guys here, for instance, like all of this, I have my different
Yeah.
positions here. But what's cool is I can also like I can break it and I can like pull him away if I need to. Which it's not doing it right now because I think I have my IK or FK maybe turned on. But okay, here we go. Like for some shots, I will like really, really overextend it because depending on the camera angle, like this looks
Yeah.
fucking crazy. But from here, this could just look
Yeah.
like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
gesturing like a big gesture. And as long as you don't hold it there and you bring it back when the camera moves, it looks totally fine. So like a
Yeah.
lot of the times I'm really breaking these rigs and like really overextending it and kind of like you're not going to notice when you see this for like a quick frame that this like why is his arm so long. You're
Right.
just going to see that he's like what the fuck, man, like so there's a lot of stuff like that that's happening, which I think is fine. I don't think there's any rules being broken
I'm pretty
really.
sure there's, like, Pixar does the same thing, I think, like,
Yeah,
there's, like I've seen some
I'm
behind the
basically
scenes stuff.
Pixar.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I mean, it looks like pretty much Pixar level if they were doing a little claymation style.
That's gonna go straight to my fucking head, dude. You shouldn't have said that. That's crazy. But, like, I don't remember which cartoon I did it in. This looks fucking terrifying, but when P was yelling, I slowly started scaling his head up, and, there was, like, a frame at the very end where he looks, like, all fucked up like this. But because it snaps back, it's like you don't it's, like, subtle enough that you don't really pick up on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, you know, I think because I just come into this, like, from a kind of amateur perspective, when I'm doing a lot of things like this, it's like I'm sure that is what, the pros do and stuff, but I feel like I'm getting away with something, like, I'm breaking something, and it feels like I'm kinda being cheeky with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, like, I've been doing a lot of stuff where I'll just type in 3D text and have it, like, appear on the screen for, like, a sound effect or something. Um, but really,
Yeah,
it's
I like
just
that.
like I kinda enter all of these with no plan. I modeled the house, I tossed them into the house, and then I position them wherever they're gonna be in the house, and, like, I have a few other locations now that they're going to too, because I don't wanna be, like, super one note and, like I think one of the it's online, so you have to have thick skin, but one of the funniest TikTok comments I got was, "Oh boy, another cartoon where they're on the couch." And I was like, "Yo, I mean, true. Yeah, they kinda just sit around a lot." Because I sit around a lot, but, um, it did put into perspective, like, okay, if I'm gonna be doing this, I should probably break it up a little bit, put them in new locations, but
Yeah.
every new location is a shit ton of work for
Yeah.
me, the one guy animating all this,
That's the
so
one thing I'm, like, super jealous of with 3D animators is that and, like, I've been kind of exploring the idea of making 3D backgrounds just because I love the ability to just be like, "Cool, background's done." Now it's just like you can just take it's like you're going around just taking a photo for your Like, I hate doing backgrounds so much, I hate drawing backgrounds,
I
so
literally
it's like
can't imagine, dude. That's like
yeah.
it's funny, I'm complaining about this, and now I'm like, "Oh, fuck, actually, this is fucking cake, dude, compared to what you gotta do, that's crazy."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh god.
That's
It's
funny.
always like the last thing I do too. I always do all my animations, like animate the characters, and then I'm like, all right, time to do the background. But like I mean, I do it all on my iPad. So sometimes I'll just like go walk down to a bar and just like have a beer and just like just slap
Bro.
together a background as quickly as I can. Cause I'm
Honestly,
just like,
that sounds nice. That part sounds good. I wish I could, like, lug this entire, like, 3090 and all this shit out to a bar,
yeah. I
and
was
then
just
I'd be like,
watching a video right before this that they're trying to get Blender on the iPad now.
"Shit, really?
Yeah. Like
Wow.
Blender's like where they're like yeah, they just like announced that they're like working on an iPad app now to so I'm
Damn.
like, that would be sick.
Yeah,
Cause
what
I
the
just
hell? That'd be
got like
so sick."
yeah, I just got like the newest iPad last year, I guess.
Shit, word.
So I'm like, all right, cool. Like it has to run on this thing because it's like the newest one. So yeah,
Damn, that's
that would be
awesome,
sick.
actually. I got an iPad a while ago with the high hopes of, like, I'm gonna learn how to draw, which I could have done with, like, a pencil and a notebook. Uh, and you can guess what that iPad's been doing is fucking nothing.
Yeah,
I have the
Apple Pencil.
it's
Yeah.
totally being used. It's definitely not covered in dust. I yeah, ADD, you're like, I'm gonna fucking learn how to, I don't know, paint miniatures, and then you do it once and you're like, "This shit sucks." Or you do it really well for a week and you're like, "Okay, now I just have that in my house." This is a graveyard that, like, started and stopped hobbies, honestly.
I know, it's hard. I feel like I've been getting better at, like, completing projects with age, but yeah,
Yeah,
it happens all the time. I have so many, like, animation ideas and scripts and, episodes recorded that are just sitting dormant. Like, I haven't actually, like, started them yet.
dude, no, literally. It's nuts because 'cause I'm, like, picking this project up and doing animation, like, it kinda turned into the second thing that I do. So I was doing music for a long time, but I found myself getting, like, writer's block, where which is really bad when you're, like, depending on something creative for, like, a paycheck. Because like,
Yeah.
I don't have
Is that
time to
is
have
that what
writers.
you do for a living is music?
Like, it's sort of I do it for, like, half of my living, and then I work at, like, an ad agency,
Oh, sick.
which covers the majority of my life, but, and it's great. I mean, my coworkers are cool, the work is cool, we work on, like, video games and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. What's the ad agency?
It's called Petrol.
I feel like
We,
I've
like,
heard of that before.
we handle a lot of shit. Like, if you walk into, like, a GameStop, which I don't even know you can anymore. They're still around.
Yeah, I think they're still around
But if you walk into one, it's
on the way out, but
like
it's still around.
50% of the cases are like Petrol's work, like a bunch of key art and like marketing
Oh,
campaigns,
really?
all that stuff.
That's sick.
It's like one of those like agencies that's like kind of like low key, like a industry shaper, but people don't really
But they've
know
just
about
been
it.
around for a super long time.
Yeah, it's been around since like the early 2000s, so it's like I think they've launched like 2,500 games or some crazy shit.
Oh, wow.
They're cool. I love working with them. I always like to say I have like 3 jobs now, which is insane. Also like trying to like balance like, "Oh, you're like gonna be 35. You should probably, have a girlfriend. You should do all these kind of things. Have like a life and friends," which I
Yeah,
do. I'm getting better at balancing it. But, you do the day job 9 to 5, you do your music job on like Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays. And I'm lucky to work with a lot of like really incredible musicians and like have like sessions and work with people. And then my own music project too. And then every other day that isn't music, it's like, okay, I'm going to work on animation, which I've been really bad about the past 2 weeks. I don't think this is the first time I've opened
I
Blender. So that's exciting.
think it's
But
nice though to have like the to balance it out. Once you get bored of one thing, you can just hop to the music and
I
then
think honestly,
go
that's been
go to
the
work.
key to like totally
Yeah,
getting rid of writer's block. Like I used to think that was just a part of creativity. Uh, but now I've come to understand, like, if I'm not feeling music, I'm probably feeling animation.
yeah,
And then I'm gonna burn out on that in like 2 or 3 days, and then lo and behold, I wanna work on music again. Uh, through having these, like, different kind of avenues, I've just been able to, like, maintain a lot of output. And again, I don't think maintaining output is, like, the be all end all. I come from a family of, like, workaholics, so, like, I find a lot of self-value in working and creating things and sharing things. So I like to always be on and I always like to be busy, but like having, I guess, 2 things you're passionate about, and this one came much later than music did, um, has been super fucking helpful for creativity
yeah,
because now I just never stop. If one tank depletes, the other's probably full, and then I just deplete that one, and then the other's ready to go.
yeah,
And it might not work for everybody, but I think specifically with whatever strain of ADHD I have, that's that's been the secret that I wish I could go back to me at, like, 16 and be like, "Dude, try this."
yeah.
Because it's
Start
changed everything.
animating now.
Yeah, exactly. Then maybe I could do more than, what we see here on
Yeah.
screen, which is
But it's really
possibly my
funny though
magnum
that
opus.
because you're like the I think yeah, you're probably the third guest now I've had that's a musician as well.
I think there's a lot
And
of similarity.
I've had yeah, like I was talking to another animator recently that this conversation came up too about like musicians and animators and how they're kind of correlated. Like he was asking if I play music and I don't really like I have a guitar and I like used to take lessons when I was younger and I enjoy doing it, but I just haven't really I'm out of practice. Yeah, it's like weird that there's so many musicians that also do animation or like there's like so like a lot of animators I follow on Instagram and stuff, and then they're just like all of a sudden like, "Hey, I just released an album." I'm like, "What? You make music too?" Like you're a killer animator, and then also you're like, "Yeah, I just dropped an album." Like, what the fuck am I doing, dude? Like I'm over here can barely get to my animations out. These people are like animating and dropping albums, and yeah, it's just interesting how that it's like I don't
I
know because it's
think
specifically animation though. Like I don't feel like there's that many musicians that also like paint, like do big paintings. I feel
Yeah.
like,
No,
but
I
for some
think
reason, it's like I think it's like that they both kind of take like it's like creativity with like a little bit of like the side of your brain that uses math. Maybe it's like that
I think you're
something
right,
weird there.
dude. Like, I think actually that's a much more succinct way than I could probably put it. Like, I wanna show you something real quick that I
Yeah,
think it clicked for me when I realized why I was enjoying animation so much. Like, if I'm looking at my dope sheet here, like, just my dope sheet for this character, I have, all these automations, all these lines, all these arcs, and this, when you're working on the character, this does make sense to you because you know what limb is what,
yeah,
and you can, select whatever. It all starts making sense, and you can push, pull, and start to edit here. But all these automation lines make like a ton of sense. But if I pull this up, like a lot of music and a lot of like, especially music and like a DAW like Ableton is essentially just a dope sheet. Like, like you're doing like a lot of things with like the animation and whatever. Like you can just kind of draw in these like,
Right.
automations of like your filters and everything. And it starts making a lot of sense. Like why you just see how the movement goes through all these,
Right.
like you're automating all those kind of things and inherently then moving into animation and having those dope sheets and seeing exactly how it affects the movement. That was like the moment it clicked is like, oh, this is just music. This is just making music. It's
It's like yeah, because you're working with a timeline exactly the same.
exactly. And it's like, when you're drawing these flows in, you're like building this tension and then you're very quickly going down and like releasing something or like letting some huge energy built up like release and explode. And it's if you take that to animation, it's like like when I don't know any of the fucking terms. Again, I'm not like a animator and I didn't really study this, but like when you have something where like a few frames it's build up and then just one frame like whack.
Yeah.
Um Whatever that's called, that's like it's the same
Yeah.
thing.
Building tension. I mean, yeah, it's
Okay,
building
perfect. So the
tension.
same thing in
Same
music, same
same
term.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it all translates so well and you can, you're playing back the same sound over and over again. You're playing back the same motion over and over again. And it's the same exact rules. You're building tension, you're like, start and stop and all those kind of things. It just translates so well that I feel like inherently the animation is just the visual version of doing all of this. So like
Yeah.
it feels like a natural fit for like I mean yeah the fact that even it's like building tension or whatever it's the same fucking language
Yeah,
like
that's
that's
interesting. Cause
that's
yeah,
really
it's
cool.
they literally just call it like, it's called an anticipation frame
Yeah,
because you're building anticipation, even though it's like, in music, it's a lot more, especially if it's like EDM or something, it's building to a drop. It's a lot more like, it's coming. And then in animation, it's like your anticipation frames. You're basically not even supposed to tell that it's there because it's supposed to just be like, that's what makes it look more natural and less robotic.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, the
yeah.
Same rules apply. So yeah, that's
No, it's
interesting.
it's
Because yeah,
cool and even
you wouldn't want to listen to an EDM song that it's like just like drops with no build up. Like all of a sudden,
no
you're like, whoa, what the?
exactly
Someone
exactly
changed the song. Yeah.
yeah.
So
And even then like even in building the tension there's depending on the genres you're working on there's like really less obvious ways of doing it or like cut everything out and then bring everything back in or put something like off a beat there's just so many correlations there that I feel like it's kind of naturally a fit and I think that's helped me like stick with it a lot instead of like a lot of hobbies that I do bounce off of.
mhm.
I've always wanted to make something like a show or a cartoon or whatever. I love cartoons, I love animation, so like I knew I always wanted to do that, but like, saying that and actually doing it are obviously 2 very different things. I think sticking with it has been because my brain already works this way, like, doing all the music language and everything,
Yeah.
it's like the same thing. So, it's just translating that over to different software. You already know how it works. Obviously, a ton of other things to learn, but, like, I think that's what makes it's definitely made it easier to stay on top of it because I don't feel exactly like I'm starting from square one.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I should tell my musician friends to try out animation.
It's definitely I
Yeah,
think
it'll
it's
click.
easier
And
to pick
I feel
up.
like I should start trying to. I don't know. I've definitely like opened. It's been like years, but I've definitely downloaded FL Studios and Ableton and stuff to like try and make music. Probably like in high school, 'cause that was
Yeah,
around
yeah,
like
yeah.
when like DJs became a popular again and everyone was getting into music. I actually had a SoundCloud, which is probably still up and it has like really, really terrible, terrible mixes
Drop
on
the
it.
link right here.
Yeah, do
Let's
not
hear it,
look at
bro.
that.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, it was just I think it was mostly like mixes of just like automated like beats that were in a program and I just kind of like fucked with them and then spliced them together with like actual songs and stuff. Um Not good, not good. But,
Yeah, I
but
mean, it's
yeah,
something though.
maybe
That's
getting back into it. Now that I'm better at animation, maybe it'll translate.
that honestly, I really think it does. I feel like I was able to like, even watching a lot of the animation tutorials starting out, I was able to skip a lot of stuff because it's like, "Oh, that's how that works." Like, I and if you watch enough cartoons, I think you start inherently understanding, like, "Why do I like this
Mhm.
particular motion? Like, what is it about this?" And you know, frame by frame it, and it's like, "Oh, the entire motion happens in 2 frames." But because it's like you see the wind back or whatever it is for, like, 40 frames, it feels like the rubber band snap or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, which, like, my favorite cartoon of all time, though, is probably, like, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which is not I don't think it exhibits any of that kinda shit. It's more for the writing, but,
yeah. It's
like
very, like, floaty, the way they kinda, like, move around.
yeah, you know, fucking
They
dragging
could
kids
practically be
across
like
street.
little, like, puppets on a stick, the way that they're kinda,
Exactly.
like, floating around, but it's just it adds to the humor so much.
Yeah, no, exactly, and, like, I love, like, all the old Fleischer cartoons a lot. I've had a lot of cool opportunities to, like, see, like, the Fleischer restorations and how that works, and, like, seeing what those dudes were doing in, like, 1929 and how it just looks smoother and, like, better than almost everything today. It's, like, super inspiring, and why does it look good? I mean, you know, I'm sure they fucking had, like, a million fucking people working on these things, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's so smooth, and they had such an understanding of movement and, like, yeah, the tension and the release and the squash and stretch and everything. It's, like, so cool to look at, and it doesn't look like it, but I do take a ton of inspiration from that for my cartoon. It's just translated to, like, schlubs sitting on a couch and talking.
Mhm.
I think inherently if I had when I have more time and I'm more confident in my animation, I would like to be doing a lot more, like, extreme poses and things like that. I'm, like, kind of starting to figure that out, but, like,
Yeah.
there's not much of an extreme pose when some guy's just yelling at the TV, right? Like,
Right.
"I gotta get off the it's another fucking cartoon, we're on the they're on the couch."
Man, I always feel like I've been posting stuff online long enough that I've just accepted that if you start getting negative comments, like, that's when you've got something good. Because for some reason, every time I post something like, all the comments are just positive, like, "I love this. It's so great." It's usually just like, like, doesn't isn't getting that many likes or views, but then it's like there's at least like a couple people that are like, "I fucking hate this." It's like, yes, this one's gonna do great, and
Yeah,
it's like
this one's
it does
striking the
work
right
out.
algorithm.
Yeah, for some reason you got to make something that's slightly polarizing to people, and
That's
and
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start taking on a lot of, like, really extreme political issues with these penguins. It seems like the appropriate medium for this.
Yeah, who can get mad at penguins?
Yeah. That'll be me in the comments just flaming anybody who shits on it. I mean, I've definitely been online enough that it's like, you know, you just gotta whatever, but it does crack me up. My favorite DM I got was somebody just saying, "I hate your art style, lol."
It's like, why are you even here then? What the
I was
fuck?
like, "Okay, thank you for the constructive criticism. That's awesome." I mean, at the end of the day, though, that shit is just funny. That comment about another cartoon where they're on the couch, like, I kinda wanna get that framed because it's like, I write so many cartoons where they're on the couch, and I just think about that guy, and I'm like, I don't wanna please him, but I'm kinda like, "Yo, he made a good point." I think I gotta break out of my, like, comfort zone with my animation because I've found this thing I can do really easily, and it's like, yeah, but that's not I need to evolve. I need to get out of that comfort zone and kinda, you know, make more things where maybe I fail making a walk cycle or whatever, or it looks like shit, but, like, that's fine at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
I don't care that much. At the end of the day, this is for me. Anybody else who likes it, like, that's awesome. That's icing on the cake.
I guess I should have asked this earlier, but when you're starting these, I know you said you don't draw, but do you do any type of storyboarding or like blocking them out or anything? Like,
Oh, man, so for the long form one, I, like, attempted to do some storyboarding, but I don't think I work, like, very smart. Like, a lot of my musician friends, they'll like skeleton out a song. They'll have like, okay, here's the chord structure for the intro, here's the chord structure for the thing. And it's really easy to like session with them, or like if a singer comes in to work with them, it's super easy because like you have the layout. You can just move the pieces around and then they can go in and like actually produce out the track, right? Um, when I'm producing music, I like to hyper focus on one sound for 12 hours. And it is fucking impossible to be in the room with me when I do that because it's just like a tone or like a kick drum or something forever. And that like sucks to be around, I think. But like with my animation, it's the same way. I will just go straight ahead, straight through,
Mhm.
match my audio. And sometimes I get to the end, I'm like, yeah, that looks like shit. And I just delete it all and do it again. Um, which is not conducive to time well spent. But I think it's easier for me to just jump in. If I plan things out a bit too much, I think I get lost in like these details of uh oh well, isn't there a better way to do this shot or whatever? I just jam the camera in and I'm like, okay, this is how this shot's going. I can show you this clip. I don't Is the audio transferring through this thing?
I don't know. I don't think I've heard anything.
Okay, word. I can send you like little clips of the audio and stuff, but
Okay.
I'll just send you this clip afterwards if you want to like put it on the screen full. But the reason I bring this up is it's like I have a music video. I have two music videos in this this full length cartoon I'm working on. And this was not storyboarded. This was just as I made the shots, I was like, this would be a fun shot to do next. I wrote the song out. I wanted to do like an 80s shopping anthem kind of thing. And all of these shots are just there was really no planning. It's all let me make sure that the volume's kind of down here. And I will send you this clip after, but let me put it on the right fucking monitor too. That would help. Um, there was no real storyboard here. This was just I would make one shot and then it's like, okay, I have like a 30-second music video to make about shopping at the mall. So what do I do? And I just
Mhm.
opened up Blender, put my characters in, and just started moving cameras around and modeling things. So it ended up looking like this.
All right, I'm not getting involved in that. Let's go spend some money. Let's go to Hot Topic, get our ears pierced to glares. If you want at the food court, baby, you're in my thoughts and prayers. Let's go to Dairy Queen or get an Auntie Anne's pretzel. Race you to the shopping cartel. Security, you're stealing my heart. Shopping at the mall, gonna buy it all. One big fucking orange Julius, yeah. Just want my own.
Which, like, there's lyrics about like, I want a big fucking orange Julius. So like, okay, I
Yeah.
put them in a big fucking orange Julius. Like,
I hadn't seen this. Is this on your Instagram?
no, this is completely unreleased.
Okay.
This is
This looks
basically
like great,
part
man.
of like that like 13-minute long
Oh,
cartoon.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah,
But
this
I'll
is
send
like
you this clip because I'm sure that didn't translate super well over the thing. But
I
like,
could hear it a little bit. It might be louder on the recording.
oh yeah, possibly. I'll either way, I'll send it to you so you can
Okay. Yeah, I can
toss
actually
it in
play
the
it.
edit if you want. But
Sick.
like a lot of this, it was just like okay, they're shopping at the mall. That's the whole bit. The chorus of the song is shopping at the mall. So like,
You got
okay,
the
cool.
shadow in the background there.
Yeah, just made a hot topic. They're shopping there. Did some like close ups. Did like the little lightning strike, and then I thought it would be funny if P was getting his ears pierced. So I gave him like a really realistic ear, and it like starts bleeding. This frame in particular is like so fucking funny to me. But
Just like a weird human head ear.
just this nasty ass human ear, which I'm pretty sure I downloaded off some like medical website that has like body part scans. I was like, all right,
Oh
word,
my god.
and just
A
stuck the like clay shader on it.
I guess
Um,
penguins don't even have ears, do they? What
I
do
know,
they
man. I
have?
mean, it just seems like hair, right? Like or
You
feathers.
know what? I never even realized that like birds don't have ears.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, right?
I've
Yeah, I
never
think
thought
they
about it.
probably got some sort of like whole thing going on, right?
Something. They gotta be able to hear, right?
I'm not a penguin expert. I feel like I
I
should
don't
be.
know. Maybe that's why they
Um,
make so much noise all the time. They can't even hear themselves.
dude, straight up. fucking noisy as hell. Yeah, this shot, I was like, that would be funny if they said the line there, like kind of like a 70s band.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like, okay, then the question was like, okay, I got to fill in space. So what do they buy? P doesn't really have like much of like his own personality. He's like really at the whims of other people and what they think is cool. So he just buys a bunch of shit. And Basil's like kind of a failed musician. So he's got like all this crazy music stuff. Like, what's he going to do with all these fucking amps? And then Mac's just like a baller. So he's got like a gun and a sports car and like video game red explosive barrels for some reason.
Just gonna blow up a car.
Yeah, just fuck it. Why not? Right. And then did like one of those shots where I was like, okay, they're like, racing their little carts or whatever. Thought it would
How'd
be
you do
funny
the
if it blew
background
up.
there?
Honestly, so I did in After Effects, I took oh God, one of those like noise map things, like a Voronoi or one of those.
Hmm.
And then I just typed into After Effects streaks, and there was a thing called like streak CC, I think, and it just makes like everything, into a long streak, as you can imagine by the name. Um, and then I just kind of edited the colors on it until I got like kind of a pseudo like anime
Okay,
like
nice. So that part
background.
was done in After Effects. So you
Yeah,
didn't have
yeah.
a
And then I
background.
just like comped it in and comped in the explosion and downloaded. There's great resources for every corporate thing in America. So I grabbed like every logo, just started putting them into Blender with a bunch of little clouds. Uh, Thought it would be funny to have him do like a cool ninja move where he throws his credit card into
That
a
shot
reader.
came out great, man. That
Which
looks so sick.
honestly, like I had the idea for the shot. I was like, I have no idea how to do this. Spent an afternoon and then I was like, wait, that actually looks fine. Um, but it was just because I dove in and started doing it.
Yeah,
And then here too, I just, made a little cup. I didn't
yeah,
make
that
that
looks sick.
straw. I found the straw online because I was really struggling with like the UVs on this. Um, and trying to make it not look insane. So I found somebody had made a straw. I think it was like $1. So I paid like a fucking dollar for a digital straw, which feels a little bit crazy, but uh, just stuck it in a cup again, found a PNG for the Orange Julius logo, and kind of leaned into a little bit of like the trippiness of it. And then this is completely fake too. I just put like a big orange overlay and some bubbles. Like this is all just bubble images and just had a scroll over the thing. So I guess it looks like they're swimming in an Orange Julius. And
Mhm.
then back to an establishing shot of the house with the Spyro background again. I'd reuse it for everything.
Nice. And then are these like? Did you model these houses by hand?
Yeah, yeah. These are all just modeled by hand, which is this was definitely a lot of that like Rocco's Modern Life inspiration. Like I started
Yeah,
by just making a regular shape house with regular shape windows, and then I grouped everything into parts and just started like doing, lattice deformers, bends, tapers until it started looking a little bit more like rounded. It's like I guess I would call this like really kit bash style, right? Like
yeah,
there's great tools like G scatter for like putting grass and plants on. I made like the road is a really simple texture, which I just painted on. If you see it from any other angle, it looks like terrible. There we go. But because it only ever needs to be seen from this angle, it looks fine. Um, and then yeah, the fence is just I just modeled a quick picket fence and just started bending all the different things. Just basically start with the general shape and then just start fucking it up until it looks like you're very purposeful in your decision.
yeah,
But it was really just aping the Rocco's Modern Lifestyle, honestly. And when you make I only ever see the house from this angle, really, because like the sitcom zoom in of the house, it's always the same shot of the Brady Bunch's house, always the same shot of Alf's
right.
house.
Yeah,
Mm, So I just did that. It's only ever really from this angle that you see the house, and because of that, I can model the scene to basically just look good from here. If I move the camera even slightly off to the right, you'll see there's no yard back here. This is like all fucked up. Like all the sides and everything are not actually existent.
yeah,
And then, yeah, like the world building detail, like I thought their house, at this point, they're in huge credit card debt. So they're having their house painted gold. Um, they don't take care of their yard. Their neighbors do, so their neighbors have like cut grass,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But their like house is a fucking wreck. And then I just put in the blue like kind of 90s jazz cup thing on their garage because I thought that would break up
Yeah.
the thing a bit. And little decisions like that, sometimes those are really I've had some people tell me I don't like that on the garage. I'm like, why do you care?
Why they're telling you that they don't like
Yeah, they're
to
like,
take
it's
out
just
the
they're like,
spray?
it's too much. I'm like, "What?" Yeah, I'm like, "What a weird thing to pick up on."
Yeah. Why don't
Like,
you make your own fucking animation, huh? How about that?
yeah, how about you walk a fucking mile in my shoes, you son of a bitch?
Yeah. How about and then you can just do whatever you want with your garage doors.
Exactly. Like, yeah, what am I gonna do with that information? Okay, cool, I guess I will get rid of that for you. Like, who the fuck are you? Anyways, sorry. But that comment always cracks me up because I'm like, that's
Yeah.
such a weird detail to be upset about.
And then are you throwing in like a little bit of noise and like RGB splitting?
Yeah, I could actually, if it's
Throwing those in
interesting, I
After
can show you
Effects?
that real quick.
Because I
So,
love doing the RGB split stuff on my
yeah, dude, I feel like
animations.
if
It
you
just
go
makes it look
watch,
like cinematic for
yeah,
whatever
it's like a
reason.
cheat
It
code,
just like it's a cheat
making
code
it a
to
little
like
bit harder to see. It's like a cheat code to making it
yeah.
look professional. I use Nuke for this, which
Oh, okay.
is overly expensive to be doing something like this, right? Like this is not at all what I should be doing this with. Okay, so this is what it looks like out of Blender. Um, and sometimes in Blender, I'll like because of the way I did the characters, I
Yeah.
might not have an example of it here. Actually, I think I do. Let me. Okay, yeah, perfect. So like, if I okay, yeah, perfect. So again, amateur here. When I was like parenting the eyelids and stuff to the eyes, I was running into problems like this, where like, oh, his eye breaks through his eyelid
Hmm.
because it's like I fucked up something with the
Yeah.
transforms. I don't even know. When he turns his head too much, all of them, their eyes will shift over and then their eyes pop out. So if you watch like when I first started this, I think I put out like 4 or 5 cartoons, and then I took a long break to work on this long form one, and I was like, shit, actually I need to be like doing both. So I kind of came back like 2 months ago and started releasing weekly cartoons again. But I wanted it to look better because if you watch the first wave of cartoons, there's a lot of shit like this. It looks exactly like this just out of the box, which is fine. It's like a beauty render. This is fine. But I just thought I could elevate it a little bit. So I go in and I do like a little bit of a roto pass. Now this obviously looks like shit, but that's because at the very end, I'm then doing like a bit of a color correct. I bring some of those tones down. I grade it a little bit more to bring out some of the like, you know, darker things, make some of those like the contrast, all that kind of
Yeah.
thing. And then these two transforms are my red and my blue shift. So I'm just moving everything over like by a couple pixels to get that like chromatic aberration, which again, like here, right out of the box, and then with the chromatic aberration. And then I'm just adding in grain on top. And the grain, now you look at this like a paint job here, and it, doesn't really
Yeah.
look
Yeah, you
not
can't see it.
natural. Um, and right out the gate with pretty much very minimal work, I just copy this exact tree and stick it on every single one of my cartoons. I just will play with the contrast depending on if they're in a different environment or if it's a different time of day. But like if it's a daytime living room shot, the lighting is the same every time, so I can just stick this same node tree on it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, right out the gate, out of Blender it looks fine. I think this just looks like way more real, way better. It kind of sells the illusion that they're like, toyish a little bit more. Like, I mean, not perfectly, but like it sells the aesthetic a lot more. And it honestly, again, it covers up some of your mistakes, which is huge for me, who is constantly making mistakes because I don't want to re-rig them. So I constantly find broken parts of their rigs, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe someday, but I think I'll just work around this shit forever.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's how it is. Yeah, I still have some of my rigs that I like haven't redrawn, and there's stuff that's like maybe not broken that's like noticeable, right, to the viewer, but broken in the way of like, oh yeah, this guy's mouth is in the wrong place, and I have to like
clip mask this thing weird, and I'm like, I really should just redo this character so I don't have to like do this, but then I just like forget and I just work through it again. So
Yeah, then it's time to
yeah,
animate, and you're
same
like,
same
"Oh,
thing.
fuck."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what Nuke? I've never used Nuke before. Is this like the main purpose
Yeah,
for
it's
Nuke?
like, it's overly expensive compositing software. My buddy Tanner, who plays the Green Penguin that I write a lot of this stuff with, is like a VFX supervisor
Oh,
and
sick.
like a bona fide, like, dude, he works on, like, major motion pictures and stuff.
Oh, rad.
So because he speaks this language very
Yeah,
fluently, I was like, "Okay, I'm going to use this for this process as much as I can." Um, because when I need help, I can literally tag in like an actual professional, right?
yeah,
So when like I do these other little things where I just take the penguins and put them into like real life footage, and it's like a little just a I don't know, like an ASMR kind of just gentle loop thing. I do all of that composition in Nuke because he was able to show me how to do it. So I feel like because he's like a pro at it, he was able to teach me, and now it's like the only tool I can use.
yeah,
Because I don't want to sit through like a million hours of After Effects tutorials. Um, which so far After Effects to me has been a like a anime background generator. That's about it.
yeah. That's so funny because I do all of this, but in After Effects.
I feel like that was probably the easier way to go, especially because Nuke. I didn't pay for this, but Nuke is like $13,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't pay for that, but I won't say how else I acquired it. But it's wildly fucking expensive. It's meant for like working on, Hollywood films and
yeah,
doing all of the like digital into live action footage type shit.
yeah. Or
I'm
penguin
using it like a
animations.
moron and like super rudimentary, but it
Yeah.
works and I understand how it works. So like that's why we use this tool. If would I recommend anyone do this? Fuck no. No chance. Like use After Effects,
Yeah,
use
you can
DaVinci
definitely just use
Resolve. Like
After Effects. You can literally just go to effects and type in noise, and then you slap that on, and then you type in chromatic aberration. Doing that with like the RGB split
oh
has
yeah,
always
yeah.
been a long process that I've had to like, not a super long process, but it's like takes like multiple effects, and then you have to like mess with it. And I finally just like found a plugin that somebody made that I just downloaded for free, and now I can just slap it in, and I'm like, hell yes, this is
Oh my
exactly
god, dude, that's
what I
that's like
needed.
always the way too. I
Oh
spent
yeah,
so long trying to make this clay shader. I was like taking pictures of Play-Doh in my apartment, and then I saw some guy selling like a way better one for $10. And I just like drank. I was just like, I can't believe I spent like a week watching all these insane tutorials and like doing this and like
yeah,
buying fucking Play-Doh. And then somebody just did something that looks like 50 times better. But out of like sheer like stubbornness, I just used mine.
yeah,
Because I that like just pissed me off. I was like, I can't believe like the algorithm served it to me. I was like, it looks like you've wasted a week. So here's like somebody selling something way better for cheaper. I'm like, fuck.
yeah, yeah. It's funny. Yeah, I do the same thing though. Like I've learned that it's way better to just pay like $10 or whatever and get something that you're gonna use, especially if you're gonna use it a lot. But yeah, I'm the
Yeah,
same way that like there's plenty of times that I see someone like trying to sell something like that, and I'm like, I'm not gonna buy that. Like you just did that in the program yourself, but then you just compile, like you just made it into a little like thing that people could just use. I'm like, I can just figure it
exactly.
out. But then you find out it takes like hours, hours and
Yeah,
hours. So
no,
you're like,
exactly.
okay, I understand why I should
Yeah.
buy this thing.
I'm the same way, dude. It's like, dude, I know what you did. You dickhead. You're making money off of nothing. And then I tried doing it myself. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I'll give you a tip too, bro. I'm sorry. That's crazy.
Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I guess just the self plug of
Yeah,
check out my shit. I have a website too that I got really into like HTML. I visited my folks for like a month in Maine. And I had a surgery last year where I couldn't speak for like 6 weeks, which is
shit.
crazy because I talk a lot. You couldn't tell. Um, so I was just like, I'm gonna fucking learn HTML because I couldn't make cartoons, and I could work on music, but I was like, I like will send voice notes to people I'm working with and stuff, so I couldn't do that. So I was learning HTML and I made this website. But on the website, the only reason I pitch it is like obviously updates on whatever music and cartoons I'm working on. But I also released like I made a script for Blender, and I make like a lot of little tools and things like
Oh,
that.
sick.
I put out a lot of like tutorials on my blog too as I like discover things. Um, so there's it's not really an in-depth resource, but I think the idea for me is as I'm doing this, I naturally write a bunch of things down. So I just kind of turn it into a blog post and we'll share like, scenes and setups. And yeah, I wrote like a little script it's super niche, super fucking niche. It's like such an obscure problem to have.
Yeah.
But if you have that problem, there's now a Blender script for it, which you can find on the website.
Cool. What's the website?
I should probably mention the fucking name of it if I'm going to
Yeah.
pitch it.
What's your website and what's
That's
your
awesome.
your
Holy
Instagram
shit.
handle?
Oh my god. Yeah, it's cosmicosmo.co
Okay.
is the website. And then on like every other service, somebody else fucking sniped Cosmic Osmo. So I'm _Cosmic Osmo.
Cool.
And the dude who had back when I had a Twitter, which I haven't for a long time for like obvious reasons, the dude who had the Cosmic Osmo one hit me up and was like, a lot of people think I'm you. Do you want my account? I was like, sure. He's like, okay, here's the login. And I tried logging in. It was like suspicious login attempt banned. And he never came back.
Oh no. What the fuck?
I was like, fuck, dude, it's just sitting there empty. That's crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
love to get the full thing, but that's all right.
I did like check out your website recently, and it's pretty sick. I like the like old school internet aesthetic that you added to it.
Again, this looks like a purposeful aesthetic, but that is the maximum of my skills right there. I can make like a 1997 GeoCities page with my HTML knowledge. So that's as far as it's going.
Yeah.
It's all about the accidental aesthetic, I think.
Yeah, it definitely comes off as like purposeful for sure. All right, man. Super rad having you on.
Yeah, dude. Thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of And I Made It. Thank you, Chris, again for coming on, man. That was really great chatting with you. I'm glad I finally found somebody that I could bond with on the struggles of Blender. it was great being able to kind of bond over having those struggles when it comes to following tutorials and having to learn how to get around all the weird little shortcuts that you end up running into when it comes to any programs, but especially animation. It always seems like from the outside sometimes you're like the only one. So it was fun chatting about that. Thank you to my buddy Nick Hassenlap for making the intro song to this podcast. Really appreciate it. If you guys want to check out his music, you can check him out on Spotify at Nick Hassenlap. He's got his full piano album on there, and I believe he's got a new album on the way, so definitely go ahead and check him out if you haven't yet. I also have a Patreon. If you look up Emma Scribbles, I'll leave a link as well down in the bio. I have a few different tiers there, but if you've got the money to spare, it really goes a long way. I'm currently just doing all of this stuff on my own. I'm doing the whole podcast, recording, editing, just on my free time. So any help at all would be greatly appreciated. But if not, that's totally okay too. I'm happy to do this, and I really like making these episodes. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll be back soon with another episode and another animator to see how they made it.